I'm just a regular Democrat. I'm not leaving my party.
So, Senator, President Biden's decision to pardon his son Hunter is facing bipartisan backlash. Even the Democrats are all over it. But what do you think? Is this much ado about nothing? It is his son, after all, and people do have sympathy for that.
Politics simply become individualized. Senator Fetterman is suing a TV personality for a single comment that could change the way we talk about bipartisanship forever. This is not just another political argument. It is a battle for the truth in a sensationalized era. It all started with an unplanned vacation to Mar-a-Lago, but this story is about more than just a lawsuit. It's about the future of political conversation in America. The internet was sparked by a comment made by Sunny Hostin, an anchor on The View. In reference to Fetterman's trip to Mar-a-Lago, Hostin suggested that he was yucking it up with the enemy. What did she say? Is he hanging with the wrong crowd? For Fetterman, this was not just a joke, but a direct assault on his credibility. But let's go back a little. What precisely was the cause of this amazing incident? Fetterman's visit to Mar-a-Lago was not only a friendly gathering, it was a high-stakes political ploy that had everyone talking. When Hostin framed it as a betrayal, the response was quick. In addition to raising questions about Fetterman's motivations, the comment painted him as a traitor to his party. At a time when political tribalism is at an all-time high, spreading that story is dangerous. However, what made this comment so offensive? To understand that, we need to look at the big picture. Fetterman's visit to Mar-a-Lago wasn't just any meeting. She was the first Democratic senator to reportedly meet with Trump since leaving the White House, so attention was bound to be drawn. Any sign of bipartisanship in today's sharply divided political landscape is either seen as brave or as a sign of betrayal, depending on who you ask. The issue is that Fetterman had a specific goal in mind. He wasn't there to become close to Trump. He was there to find common ground on significant issues, whether it's in infrastructure, healthcare, or national security. Fetterman has consistently argued for working across the aisle. The problem? In a world where politics feels more like a reality show than a form of governance, his actions were bound to be misinterpreted, and that is exactly what happened. In addition to raising questions about Fetterman's motivations, Hostin's comments painted Fetterman as a traitor to his party. At a time when political tribalism is at an all-time high, spreading that story is dangerous. But Fetterman is not one to let the media dictate his story. He's saying something that could change the way we talk about politics forever. This is more than just hurt feelings, in Fetterman's opinion. He argues that Hostin's remarks skewed the narrative, leaving Democrats perplexed as to what went wrong. Do you think that's helpful? Do you think the Republican Party ought to consider why they chose a particular candidate as well? It seemed like he was making friends with Trump for the wrong reasons. At a time when political tribalism is at an all-time high, Fetterman believes that comments such as this undermine his efforts to bridge divides and serve the American people. Report trends on, but it's not just about him. The way the media molds public opinion is the bigger problem in Fetterman's allegation. Not only were Hostin's statements false, he thought they were harmful. By characterizing his visit as a betrayal, she fueled the flames of division and damaged trust in his bipartisan efforts. Furthermore, in today's media landscape, when sensationalism usually trumps content, this isn't an isolated incident. Fetterman's legal action is a bold attempt to hold commentators accountable for their statements. But is changing the way we talk about politics enough? Are you saying that in the past, politicians have worked across party lines to achieve their objectives? Think of Reagan and Tip O'Neill or Biden and Mitt Romney. Back then, bipartisanship was seen as a strength rather than a betrayal. Take Reagan and O'Neill, for example. Notwithstanding their obvious ideological differences, they worked together to pass landmark legislation like Social Security reform. Consider Biden and Romney, who collaborated on significant initiatives like infrastructure and pandemic relief. These partnerships were about more than just politics. They were about advancement. But in a world where anything related to Trump is a hot topic for conversation, Fetterman's actions are being scrutinized more than before. So do we have a different expectation of him? If true, what does that tell us about the state of our politics? This case goes beyond Fetterman v. Hostin and makes a comment on the influence of the media on political discourse. Fetterman's group claims that sensationalist statements cause division and damage public leaders' reputations. By taking legal action, he is sending a powerful message. Stories matter, and the truth shouldn't be sacrificed for the sake of viewing. But not sugarcoat it. This is a risky move. These cases can drag on for years, and winning in a court of public opinion is often more challenging than winning in a court of law. However, Fetterman's decision to speak up demonstrates his commitment to integrity. Nor is it solely about him. A precedent for how prominent personalities respond to political criticism may be set by this case. In an era where fake news and alternative facts are common headlines, Fetterman's case stands as a gut check for the media. Are we prioritizing the truth, or are we just looking for clicks? Fetterman is no stranger to controversy and bipartisanship. He is renowned for his independence and has worked on significant issues, including hostage discussions with people from both parties. His Middle East activities, for example, have aligned with both the Biden and Trump administrations. Take his work on hostage negotiations, for instance. Fetterman has been instrumental in arranging the release of Americans held abroad and often works behind the scenes with leaders of both parties. He has earned admiration for his ability to manage complex diplomatic crises on all sides of the aisle. However, Fetterman's commitment to bipartisanship is about people, not just politics, which is the worst part. He has frequently shown that he is willing to put aside political differences in order to achieve his objectives, whether they be advocating for healthcare reform or helping veterans. And this action is significant just for that reason. For Fetterman, protecting his reputation is just as crucial as preserving the purity of political speech. Now let's talk about the lawsuit itself. Fetterman's legal team said that Hostin's comments were not only defamatory, but also hurt his reputation and career. They argue that by framing his trip to Mar-a-Lago as a betrayal, Hostin harmed his reputation and jeopardized his capacity to work with individuals from diverse backgrounds. The hitch is that this is more than just an apology or money. Setting a precedent is the aim of Fetterman's case. He wants to make it clear that prominent personalities cannot falsify information to boost their audience. And in a world where misinformation spreads faster than ever, that message is more important than ever. The public's reaction to this case has been conflicting. Although Fetterman's opposition to sensationalism is praised by some, it is viewed as exaggerated by others. Social media is dominated with debates. Hashtags like free speech and Team Fetterman have been trending for days. But it's clear that this case has triggered strong emotions. Especially in light of this, people are being compelled to think about the role of Democrats. Do commentators like Hostin go too far in influencing public opinion? Or is this just the price of free speech? We need to have this conversation, even though the solution is complicated. So, what are we left with here? Fetterman's case transcends a straightforward political disagreement and serves as a cautionary tale about the power of media narratives. In a world where sensationalism often trumps content, should we hold pundits accountable for their statements? Or is this just one more chapter in our current political drama? Undoubtedly, this issue will not be settled anytime soon. Whether it settles or goes to trial, it will surely spark additional in-depth debates about how the media affects public opinion. So, what do you think? Is Fetterman right to take a stand, or is this just political theater? We would be glad to hear your thoughts, so please post them below.